Like, they've just done a great job of making him just intimidating enough. Like, every scene he's in the room, I'm a little bit on edge when I read this.
That's really something, considering it's a blue hedgehog.
Mm-hmm.
Whose thing up until this point was running fast and defeating Eggman.
Yeah. Like, if he wanted to kill Tails now, it's not a lot could stop him.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah. Oh, I skipped over something really funny I probably should have mentioned. So they point out in the cutscenes, it's clear Sonic stores... In the games, it's pretty clear Sonic is just storing the emeralds in his ass.
And you missed this.
And the death notes are kind of... Yeah.
Oh, that just gave me whiplash. The fucking tonal shift in that.
Yeah.
I see.
Have we covered an ABO fic on this show yet?
Yeah.
I seem to remember, wasn't the Dodo fic from the Animal Crossing
Maybe.
episode?
No. I mean, it sort
I
of
don't
was,
think that
but
aired
it
in
wasn't.
the end. We've
Oh,
talked
yeah, we
about
did.
ABO in Supernatural, for sure, because Supernatural spawned ABO.
But we didn't cover an ABO
I don't think we did.
Supernatural episode.
I think
No.
this is the first full-on coverage of Alpha, Beta, Omega Dynamics. So, Grace, what is Alpha, Beta, Omega Dynamics?
First of all, why do you do this to me? Secondly, Alpha,
Because I can.
Beta, Omega dynamics is where you have different people in your society who are split into 3 different groups. The Alpha being a type who is confident and possesses a dick or some sort of implement that can knot inside someone else. You have a Beta who is essentially like the everyday person, who is an everyday person, has no abnormal qualities to their physics. And then you have
Physiology.
Omegas who are submissive in character generally and go into heat where they can, regardless of gender.
So, hopefully, we'll see you then. Good night. I just realised, at the start of the episode, I didn't introduce ourselves. So, I've been James, that's been Grace,
Hello.
and that's been Nick.
Hi. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, goodbye.
And goodbye.
Hi.
What the fuck did we do for the intro? It's been so long.
You just jumped into
I
yours.
don't
You were
know.
just so eager to talk about the duality of man that you got carried away.
I'm going under the assumption, Nick, you didn't get around to
I
watching
didn't.
Sonic 2.
So,
Oh, fuck me.
You have once again let me down.
that's fine. I had my own shit to do. I've been doing a lot of overtime at work recently because we are in the middle of preparing to move into our new building.
Ooh.
So yeah, I've been getting the overtime in. And
Nice.
that usually means by the time I get home from work, I'm too tired and too insensible to watch something which actually has to make me think.
I mean, that's high praise of Sonic 2.
I promise you, Sonic 2 would not make you think. The
But
heist.
I agree.
I like that you think Sonic 2 is going to be too cerebral for you to enjoy after a while. It's a film about a blue hedgehog who beats up robots.
No, James, I know where Nick's coming from on this. Like,
Okay.
overtime
Yes.
does that.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, you don't need... Like, at one time, I came back from doing overtime, and I was trying to unlock my house with my car keys, but not with the key, but with the digital lock.
The whoop whoop.
I was hitting the button, and my front door just wasn't opening, and I started swearing at the door until someone else let me in.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about...
It's safe,
Yes.
it's a good affair.
that does explain a
For
lot,
everyone.
actually.
Like, that's it. All I've wanted to do this past couple of weeks is go upstairs, drink a cup of tea, sit in front of the TV and drift off.
I mean, to be fair, like, there have been times where I've done so much overtime and I've sat in front of the TV. In my dreams, I've incorporated what's happened on the TV, so I've sort of thought that what happened on the TV had actually happened to me in memory.
Oh, wow.
So it's quite possible, Nick, should you have watched Sonic the Hedgehog, you'd have been wondering what the fuck was going on yesterday. Fuck me, I was trying to get the overtime in, and this guy with this ginormous robot just came in.
Is anyone at your work bald with, like, a big mustache?
No, there's plenty of bald people, but none with a big moustache.
Damn. What about Echidnas?
Okay, well, one of them would have grown a moustache and would have tried to assemble all the parts in the parts department into a ginormous monster. And then you'd have been saved by this average-looking hedgehog that's been spray-painted blue running across the floorboards.
Oh god.
And it had all just fused into one weird, distorted memory that you're in 100% convinced was real.
I have had dreams like that.
That sounds
But
fun.
mostly, the dream starts when my alarm goes off, and I get up, and I take a shower, and I dress myself, and I go to work, and then my alarm goes off.
Oh, I hate them.
Yeah, I hate those.
Oh, you don't even get paid for dream overtime, do you?
No, Grace, you don't.
Quite frankly, I think I should put a complaint in.
To who?
HR.
HR, you didn't pay
did a
me for what I
12-hour
dreamt about
shift
work.
last night.
So, now you've mentioned that, I am
boss.
going to try and claim it. I'll put a
Yes.
claim in for dream
Yes,
overtime.
lad.
Because it's the worst thing when you just sort of laid there in the dark and your alarm's gone off and you're thinking to yourself, hang on a minute, I've just done this bit.
I know, and you've got the ache in your bones as if you've literally been moving shit about. And it's just like, oh no. I once woke up dibbing. In my job, you dib things, and I literally had my arm, like, in the air, and I woke up, and I was like, oh my god, why am I in my room? And I wasn't at work. I was like, fuck, they're going to sack me for going home late. And then my alarm went off. I was like, no. No. No.
You both
That's
need
it.
less stressful
The worst
jobs.
part is when you take a phone call off your personal phone while you're sat at home and go, hello, parts, Nick speaking. So,
Oh dear.
I'm so glad I don't have to answer phones.
I mean, technically we have our phone numbers and all our email signatures, but my phone is on my desk in the office, where I am not. And I have no intention of going in ever again. So, good luck. If it's important, you'll email
yeah,
me.
you do right. Nobody rings people anymore. Well, they do at my job.
Exactly. And if
I
they
get that.
do, when they do, they normally want something bad.
Scammers.
No, like annoying people, like sales.
I like it when they're like, Grace, something's fucked up.
No.
Can you come in? And I'm like, why did I answer this? I knew who it was.
Yeah, that's usually
Could've
what
just
calls
left
for
it.
me. Only they don't call me Grace.
You'd be worried if they did. You two are not exactly hard to mix up.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do
think.
have very different looks. So
Actually, that brings me up. We've got a new person at our work. When I say new, they've been here 2-3 weeks now.
okay, so pretty new. Yeah.
Hmm.
Out the corner of your eye, we look identical. We're both like thin, very pale, brown-haired women who wear our hair in a bun,
You look like you could be the main character of a romance novel.
right? But only that she wears glasses. But out the corner of your eye, you'd think that she is me. And out the corner of my eye, when I've been tired, I thought I was over in the other part of the building through the window. Oh, what the fuck am I doing over there? And then she turns around and I was like, what have I got? Oh, it's me. No, wait, it's Penelope. Oh, shit, hang on. No. Why am I having an out-of-body experience? I'm not. So someone who looks like me is in the building. I was like, oh. And everyone else at work is taking the piss. They're like, oh, hello, Penelope. I'm not Penelope.
I mean,
It's like,
I too would take the piss if someone told me they had an out-of-body experience and thought that was them.
Oh, there was. It's funny. Funny you should say. Sort of not recognizing things. So, I used to hang out with somebody, right? And we were. I think we were off to the seaside or something. It was just something to do. And anyway, she needed to go to cash machine. So, I pulled up. And anyway, she got out, goes to cash machine. And then I look over to see her coming back from the cash machine. And I watched her walk away from the cash machine to the curbside and get into the car behind me.
Ah,
And I saw...
it's funny you should mention people going up to others, assuming it's the person they're with, because Grace has done that to me multiple times.
I'm sorry.
To men with beards, of any height, of any hair colour, to be honest.
It's still some shade of brown. Like,
Okay, that's good. That's good. It's an improvement. Usually, sometimes I'm like a few meters behind them, and I'll see Grace going up to this person, and then the calculation, and they're going,
Yeah, but you don't
hello.
say a word because it's funnier if you don't.
And wrote,
and then like I'll peer around this bloke and I'll see James like staring daggers at me from like across the road or something, and I'm just like, there he is. I recognise that angry scowl anyway.
It's usually not a scowl. Usually I've just forgotten my glasses.
It's a squint.
Yeah, it's... Sometimes I'm on the off chance. If anyone who knows me...
I have 20/20 eyesight.
Good for you. Well, la-di-da, Miss Perfect Vision. Why don't you recognise that it's not you in the corner of your eyes, then?
You are. Excellent vision, no recognition. Utterly fucking useless.
So, before we talk about Sonic the Hedgehog, one more thing I should point out. We are a British show, and since it's airing around now, I imagine people will expect us to talk about football.
Oh, no, we're not going to do that. No, you can get fucked.
We're not.
No.
Yeah,
That's
if
all
you
I was
like
gonna
football, please keep it to yourself.
I was going to say unsubscribe, but we can't afford to lose subscribers. But so
I've got no problem with football. It's just some people in the UK go very overboard, and I'm just not really want to be associated.
That's it. Don't
with
get me wrong. I don't mind football. If that's your thing, that's fine. It's just that I've sort of gone through life having the piss taken out of me for knowing quite a lot of facts and figures and stuff about old cars and trains, right? And usually the people taking the piss out of me, they can tell you who their favourite player is, who he plays for, how old they are, how tall they are, how much they weigh and everything, what they had for fucking breakfast.
Yeah, the people in the football fandom are just very
Yeah, exactly.
unaware
It's
of
literally the
themselves.
same level of nerdery, only it's somehow socially acceptable because it's a bunch of overpaid Nancy boys kicking a sheep's pancreas around a field.
And there you have it.
Fuck football.
So Sonic the Hedgehog.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, lads, the show's got to begin now because our director's here.
Hey.
Hello,
Oh, Pepper's the director.
Yeah, she's come in to sit on my lap and she's just hit her head on the desk.
no.
I'm so sorry for that desk is there.
Just
She tried to jump on my lap and just smacked herself. Oh, you're not very calculating today, are you? Oh, she missed the window
She's
as well.
never...
Oh, Pepper, you're getting old.
does she want to ask what I've been reading?
Yeah.
What you been reading, James?
That's not what Pepper
She
sounds
says,
like.
What have you been reading?
So I have been reading It's Complex Morality for Our Simple Minds by etceterasundries.
If that
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
describe most fics to our tiny minds, then I don't know what does.
Yeah. So I'm going to skip over the summary and the tags.
Okay.
We're going to come back to it.
Oh, you're
I think
gonna
it's more interesting
break
if we
it
just
in.
jump in and you'll see the twist of what's going on once we get to it.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
So our story begins with Sonic lying on the ground. Do I need to link this, by the way? Have you guys got it open?
I have it open now.
If you could link it, that would be helpful. But then again, we'd see the tag, so maybe don't link it just yet.
Okay.
Make it a surprise.
You can always scroll up and find it. So Sonic is laying on the ground. A scorch mark beneath him on the asphalt. And yeah, there's two bright lights coming at him. It's pretty clear to us there's a car coming. So he sort of dodges out the way.
No.
And he's wondering where the fuck he is. And yeah, last thing he remembers was fighting Eggman. And he was using the Chaos Emeralds. And sometimes they have a habit of sending him places in time and space. And that's clearly what's happened here.
Okay.
So he dashes out of the road as fast as he can, which is pretty fast because he is Sonic. But he miscalculates. He knocks himself out of the road and he falls into a swimming pool.
Oh,
Now, for those who have played any Sonic games, he is very bad at swimming, historically.
Oh shit, he is, yeah.
And I discovered that in Sonic Frontiers, actually. I thought I'd have a better chance at swimming, but no, he just falls like a stone. Like, he cannot swim at all.
Or he just sinks.
Yeah.
He can do a little bit of running on water.
He can
that's
run on
about it,
water,
isn't it?
but if he stops, yeah, that's a problem. So, luckily, one Chris Thorndike, who is from the cartoons, is there at the swimming pool. It's his home. And his first thought is, oh no, there's a cat in the pool. And he goes to rescue this cat, and he's like, hang on, someone's dressed this cat in blue pajamas and put gloves on it. Kind of weird.
And his hand has just been needled
And
to
it's-
pieces by tons and tons of spines.
I'm not sure if Sonic can needle people, you know?
He can.
Okay.
If you had seen the first film,
Oh, forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm not completely up to date on the Sonic lore. You know, because I've not seen the first one. Because you said it wasn't very good.
it was good.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll
Just
go
not
back.
as good
then.
as the second, which was fantastic.
Cool.
Oh, Pepper, don't do the same jump.
Oh,
You're going to hit your head
no.
again. Nope. What did I say? What did I fucking say?
Oh, Pepper.
Pepper.
I'm going to buy you a camera so you can sort of tape these recording sessions. because I want to watch this.
She's going to go and sulk now. I can feel it.
She's already scowling at me like it was my fault.
You put the desk there.
Sorry, carry on. Yeah, exactly.
Talking of scowling cats, Chris asks this blue cat, "Are you okay?" And the cat goes, "Hey, yeah, thanks a lot." Chris is like, "What? I don't know you can talk." And the creature goes, "Yeah, I can do a lot of things." And he introduces himself, to, "Hey, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog." Meanwhile, a strange creature is looking over this strange world. It's slouched where it sat, body thin, and clothes in stretched black apparel. Other creatures sat nearby, varying drastically in size and appearance, but all sharing a same air of ennui. "Care to join us, Ryuk?" Ryuk sighed. "No, I'll pass." This is a Death Note crossover.
Yeah.
This is Sonic the Hedgehog and Death Note.
What the... Is he going to have to fight Ryuk?
The tags include... so the fandoms are Sonic, Sonic X, and Death Note. Characters: Sonic, Tails, Dr. Eggman, Chris Thorndike, Amy, Cream the Rabbit, Cheese, Ryuk from Death Note, Knuckles, and Rouge the Bat.
Hang on, Death Note's the one with the notebook that kills people, isn't it?
Yes. Sorry, I should have led with that for people who... I kind of assumed everyone's seen Death Note. And
Yeah,
that's kind of
I
bad of
can't
me,
anime very
but
well, you know this.
I thought you've seen Death Note, right?
I know of Death Note, but, like, yeah. No, I haven't
thought you
seen
had
Death
seen
Note.
it.
I haven't seen many animes, to be fair.
I consider Death Note the basic bitch anime, but that is because I was a teenager in the 2000s, so maybe other people won't have seen it. It's about a notebook that kills people. It's picked up by someone called Yagami Light, and he uses it to kill
Right,
criminals. And he's hunted by a detective called L, and there's this sort of cat and mouse thing as they try and stop
I'm
one
guessing
another.
there's a whole sort of, like, morality type thing written into the plot, yeah.
Yes. Is it okay to kill people if they're criminals is the moral question.
Oh, okay.
It depends how bad.
Grace, have you not seen Death Note?
I have seen Death
Okay,
Note.
cool.
I'm sorry for being a basic bitch in the 2000s, but...
I'm
Yeah,
also
I've
a
seen
basic
some of
bitch in the
Death Note.
2000s. I've also
Oh,
seen
so
it.
you've seen it as well? Oh,
Yeah,
right.
I've seen it.
You are both still basic bitches.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Nick. We love you too.
So, after that introduction, we continue on. Time has passed. Sonic moves in with Chris. Chris has a big house, and his parents are rich and always absent. It's a very common trope in anime, actually, that there's these wealthy teens that are just left alone in a house to themselves.
It's how you wanted to spend your childhood.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Like Kevin McAllister, Home Alone.
Yeah, Chris is very
Yeah.
much Kevin McAllister, but in Japan.
Yeah.
Not that Chris Thorndike is a particularly Japanese name.
No, not at all. I was going to say, he sounds like he could be your local postman.
He does. But no,
Yeah.
he's in Japan, he's a plucky teen, and Sonic's moved in with him.
Oh, good.
Time passes, Sonic explores Japan. Only Japan, because he's not confident on the water yet, so...
He hasn't got a passport
He's also not got a passport, so he can't get on any planes.
because he's a hedgehog.
Yeah, but he does several laps of the country on a daily basis, because he's fast.
Oh, okay.
Crikey, that's a feat.
Yeah.
But alright, yeah.
And eventually Robotnik attacks, because it's
Okay.
what he does. And luckily, all of Sonic's friends take this as like a beacon, and they go, aha! And they all end up meeting up together when Eggman attacks.
Oh, good.
Like, they see him on telly, and they're like, aha! If I go there, I should stop Eggman, and then they meet each other.
Okay.
They all meet up, they all kick Eggman's ass, or Robotnik's ass, sorry. And they all end up moving in together. With the exception of Knuckles, who is remaining on Angel Island, because that part of the world has been transported to Earth, and he needs to guard the Master Emerald.
And
Yep.
because he is Edge personified.
He's the second edgiest character in the Sonic franchise,
Yeah.
so he has to stay on the island.
And Brood.
Edgy, he's a sweetheart.
Has your fic affected your perception of Knuckles, Grace?
Completely. But carry on.
So it becomes kind of routine fighting Robotnik. Like, every other week or so, he'll just show up with a better robot, and they'll kick his ass. And sort of they just get used to living on Earth. And one day, Sonic's out running, and he notices a little black square in the road. And he picks it up and he goes, huh? Death Note?
Oh.
Yeah, he finds a notebook in the middle of the road.
Oh no, he's got the book.
Chapter 2, he picks it up, and he starts reading the rules. To go over the rules for anyone who's not seen Death Note. The human whose name is written in this note shall die. Is this for real? Sonic says. This note will not take effect unless the writer has the person's face in their mind when writing his/her name. Therefore, people sharing the same name will not be affected.
Oh, that's convenient.
If the cause of death is written within 40 seconds of writing the person's name, it shall happen. If the cause of death is not specified, the person will simply die of a heart attack. After writing the cause of death, details should be written within the next 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Just what is this?
So, can I ask a question about the Death Note?
Okay.
What happens if you put something in which isn't human?
Funnily enough, that's what Sonic immediately asks afterwards.
Wow, okay.
Is this... It says human. Could it be used in other animals? No. What am I thinking? Why do I even ask that? I don't want to kill anyone. But... Sonic abruptly stops.
Imagine the possibilities.
This sure would be a great tool from saving the world from Eggman. But do I really want to kill him? Sure, he's a bad guy. But does that mean he deserves to die?
10 out of 10 for the Sonic voice, though.
Oh, thank you very much.
We've got a little blue hedgehog grasping a morality complex that
Yeah.
even adults struggle with.
So Sonic takes the Death Notes and returns home,
Okay.
thinking, even if I don't use it, it's better that I have it than, say, if Robotnik finds it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, to be fair.
That's sensible. I'm with him so far, with his moral dilemmas.
Yeah.
When he gets home, the all-too-familiar sound of destruction approaches. Ah, Eggman's at it again. Eggman's built a giant robot again, and he's destroying, presumably Tokyo. I mean, it's always Tokyo, isn't it? And they're in Japan.
Yeah, and it's a giant robot, you know.
Yeah, like,
Gotta go to Tokyo.
sorry, Tokyo. It's always you that gets destroyed.
I think Eggman maybe has some problems.
Yes, he sure
Because-
does.
The definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing and expecting different results.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's always the giant robot.
But it's always a better giant robot. He has improved on the designs.
Yeah, but it's still a giant robot. It's a bit like World War One, really.
But he's got to stick to what he's
hold
good
on,
at,
what?
Nick.
It is a bit like World War One because, like,
Go on then.
basically the de rigueur strategy was to get up out of your trench and walk very slowly towards the enemy. That was the.
Where are you going with this?
Like it achieved literally nothing. You know, all they achieved is like getting your soldiers killed. So it's the same thing. It's insanity. He just does the same thing.
Nick, why are you bringing up the horrors of war in my Sonic the Hedgehog fanfiction?
I thought you said this was all about morality and the duality.
I mean,
of
it
man.
is. It's just... it's just you dragging it to dark places.
Oh,
I mean, I think the duality of man and, like, the moral dilemma he's got about killing criminals is pretty dark already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And it is
yeah.
still going to get darker. Because
oh, good. Okay.
Robotnik is attacking the city, and his robot is powered by 2 Chaos Emeralds. Which he seems to believe renders it indestructible.
But I'm guessing it's not.
I'm just going to do... This doesn't add much to the review. I just kind of want to do an Eggman voice. But there's something you don't know, you little nuisance. For I have obtained 2 Chaos Emeralds, and both are being used to power this machine. I'm indestructible. And once I get rid of you and your furry friends, I'll be able to take over the world. Are you sure you want to do that, Eggman? I could defeat you in a second. Ho ho ho. I'd like to see you try. So there's a battle.
Yeah.
And it becomes clear after a while that Sonic and his friends are losing. Like, they attack him with the plane, they do all kinds of things, and they can't penetrate its shields.
Oh no.
So Sonic takes a moment, and he goes, okay, it's the right thing to do. And he runs. Blink of an eye, he's gone, and no one can see where he is. And Eggman goes, well. Looks like your hero has fled from the battle. Not so much of a hero after... And then the robot explodes.
Has he written in the Death Note?
Robotnik is killed in an explosion as his robot malfunctions and self-destructs. He wrote in the Death Note.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dark for Sonic, isn't
Yeah,
it?
he just fucking killed him.
I thought he was going to find this other way round.
No, Sonic just fucking killed
Oh
someone.
my god. Oh my god, what?
He doesn't even kill just the robot. It's Eggman himself.
I mean, you can't kill a robot with a Death Note. It'd have to be Because robots aren't really alive.
Yeah, this was what I was wondering. Like, if you just wanted to make a YouTube channel about destroying various household objects, could you do it with a Death Note?
No.
Like microwave?
No.
I mean, okay, you could if you could do
He
it like...
turned Robotnik into the catalyst for destroying the robot.
Yeah, you could do it like... Say I wanted to blow up a microwave, to use your example, Nick.
Yeah.
I'd have to write...
You would have to be in the microwave.
I'd have to write, the microwave explodes, killing someone.
Ah, I see.
Mhm.
Okay.
So you could blow up an object by using it in a circumstance that will lead to someone's death.
Right.
It requires sacrifice.
Yeah.
Uh,
As long as someone dies at the end, it will make your events happen. As long as they're
Okay.
within the realms of physics.
yeah, I see what you mean.
They actually briefly experiment with it in Death Note. Like, he writes that someone teleports to Paris and then dies, and that doesn't work. That person ends up drawing a picture of the Eiffel Tower, then having a heart attack.
Right, I see. Okay.
So there are limits to the Death Note.
Yeah.
Chapter 3, they're all just sat in Chris's living room, just contemplating what just happened.
Well, yeah.
Tails is the first to break the silence. He goes, I never thought this would happen. He seemed so invincible.
Are they missing Eggman?
Yeah, they are. Amy says, at least we don't have to worry about him anymore. Oh, why am I sad? He was the bad guy. And yeah, they're just contemplating this, because he was the bad guy, but none of them have ever killed anyone before.
Yeah.
And Sonic, he leaves the room and he sort of paces and he's morally like, did I do the right thing? Like, I've killed robots before, at least, and it stops other people dying by doing this.
This is really heavy for a Sonic fic, yeah.
Yeah. It's a reminder, this is a crack fic.
What?
The tags have crack treated
Really?
seriously.
Oh,
Mhm.
shit.
That explains
Oh
a
my
lot, to be
God.
fair. I mean, I think this is... If you were going to give a talk on crack treated seriously, you would use this as an example.
This, in fact, yeah, I'm going to say this is the most seriously I've ever seen treated crack.
Yeah.
And I fucking love it.
This is on one end of the
Yeah.
scale. For sure.
And you know what? This clearly started off as like a goofy, jokey concept of, hey, what if Sonic found the Death Note? And then they just wrote it really well. Like, they accidentally channeled, like... God, who's good at moral stuff? They channeled Steven Spielberg and wrote that. I'm not Spielberg. Who am I thinking of?
I'm trying to think of moral dilemmas in films.
Oh, what's his name? The loud guy.
Brian Blessed.
No, director. Makes his films too loud.
Michael Bay.
No. Did Inception. What's his...
I
What's
know
his
who
name?
you mean, but I can't
Christopher
think of their
Nolan.
name.
Christopher Nolan.
It's
That's
like
the one.
it's like this, right? It's like if etceterasundries channeled Christopher Nolan while trying to write a crack fic, and he accidentally wrote like something really heavy and serious.
Yeah, it
And
does.
I sincerely mean that as a compliment. Like, it blew my socks off.
Oh, 100%. It's very heavy, but in the right way.
I'm gonna keep going in that case. 5 days pass, and Ryuk decides, right, I'm gonna have to go get my Death Note back. Sonic wakes up to someone standing over him, and yeah, Sonic goes, "Whoa, you're a funny-looking guy." He's like, "Yeah, same to you. I'm not even sure what I'm looking at." I don't know what voice to do Ryuk in, but as a quick side note, the Netflix adaptation of Death Note was terrible, but the one thing they did right was casting everyone's favorite Green Goblin as Ryuk.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, they
Oh,
cast Willem
shit.
Dafoe as Ryuk, and that was a top-notch choice,
Wow.
because he's got the right energy about him.
I'm guessing Ryuk's quite sinister.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, so he introduces himself. He's a Shinigami.
What's a Shinigami
It's-
for?
It's a death god.
Okay.
Gami means god.
He explains that it's his notebook. Sonic goes, "All right, I'm going to trust you, Mr. Shin Salami."
Oh god.
Wow, amazing.
And Ryuk's impressed that at this point, he's filled a lot of the pages of this notebook, because Sonic has moved on to killing criminals.
Oh,
What?
no.
Yeah, and Sonic's just trying, hey, take a look at what all I've done so far. It's like, oh, this is almost illegible, but you filled several pages. For a human to write this many names in under a week would be impressive.
I think I know what's gone on here.
What?
Sonic has committed genocide because he can write faster than many humans.
He's writing a lot of names, and he's very
Yeah.
fast, yeah.
So, yeah, wow.
So,
See,
Ryuk,
Sonic doesn't strike me as someone who has the maturity to think about like the context of why people commit crime. And this is worrying me.
Ryuk tells him, "It's very impressive you clearly don't value human life very much." To which Sonic retorts, "I value life a lot, thank you very much. I'm creating a better life for people who deserve it. The first thing I ever did with that book was to save countless people from an evil man. All of these scumbags I've defeated would have hurt others if it weren't for me. I'm saving the world. Now that's not that that's anything new from me."
Oh.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that he's gone off the deep end with regards to sanity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, you know what, I'll keep going. Oh, I'll say my points later. But he keeps asking, and he keeps asking Ryuk this as well, but he's asked this out loud a couple of times. Would this work on creatures like me?
Okay.
And the fact he keeps mentioning that is really unsettling to me, because it makes me keep thinking he's wondering if he needs to kill off, say, Tails or Amy. Could he do that with the Death Note?
Yeah, but why would he need to?
Well, because if they're morally aligned to be good and Sonic's just fucking killing people, they might take objection to that, and then that would make them bad people in Sonic's eyes because, oh, you're stopping me from killing all the bad guys, you must indirectly want good people to suffer, therefore I must get rid of you because that's made you a bad guy, because you're trying to stop me.
Oh.
So, next chapter. This is when Tails and Chris have a moral conversation about if this is really okay, and neither of them think this is okay. And this is when Tails puts together that he's starting to wonder if Eggman was Kira's first kill.
Oh, okay.
I see.
As Chris then mentions, it's a shame L isn't around anymore. He was the world's greatest detective. We were talking about him in school once. People reckon he probably could have caught Kira in about a week. And Tails asks, but what happened to him? Robotnik blew up the hotel he was staying in.
Oh, shit.
He hadn't even intended to kill L. L just happened to be staying there when Eggman decided to cause mass destruction on a whim. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, and pretty convenient for the author, too.
Hey! We have broken the fourth wall.
Yep, fourth wall's broke. So yeah, the team get together and start talking about this, and Tails brings up his concerns that maybe it was Kira that killed Robotnik. And Sonic is in the room at this point as well. And he just turns to Tails and goes, Tails, can we go talk about the progress you've made on the plane? He's like, yeah, sure thing, Sonic. And he gets Tails alone. And they sort of do this. Tails, you'd stick with me through anything, right? He's like, yeah, of course, we're best friends. That's right, buddy, we are best friends. And I appreciate how loyal a friend you are no matter what.
He's buttering him up here.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And eventually he shows him the Death Note. And he starts explaining what he's been doing. And Tails starts to doubt him, and he's like, I know you've had good intentions. If you believe this is right, then I guess I trust you. And I'll be honest, it's at this point in reading this, Sonic started reminding me of Homelander from The Boys.
Oh.
Like, just the way he starts carrying himself in the dialogue, it reminds me very much of how Homelander is portrayed. And I fucking love it.
Okay.
Like, they've just done a great job of making him just intimidating enough. Like, every scene he's in the room, I'm a little bit on edge when I read this.
That's really something, considering it's a blue hedgehog.
Mm-hmm.
Whose thing up until this point was running fast and defeating Eggman.
Yeah. Like, if he wanted to kill Tails now, it's not a lot could stop him.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah. Oh, I skipped over something really funny I probably should have mentioned. And that's some of the notes. So they point out, in the cutscenes, it's clear Sonic stores... In the games, it's pretty clear Sonic is just storing the emerald in his ass. And that's kind of where...
And you missed this.
And the Death Notes are kind of... Yeah.
Oh, that just gave me whiplash. The fucking tonal shift in that.
Yeah. Ryuk is pretty much horrified at how he can just pull the note out of nowhere behind him. In the same way Sonic pulls everything out from behind him. The notes in Chapter 4, God did not put me on this earth to write Sonic fiction. I disagree, this is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I believe you can do better, don't worry, but this is damn good. Notes in Chapter 5, Zawado.
Oh, I love it.
So, final written chapter, this is an ongoing fic, it last updated in mid-October, so I have confidence it will return. We cut to Shadow and Rouge the Bat, and it begins with Shadow saying, what can I offer you in exchange for your life? And she just blinks at, what? I need a life I can put on the line. Would you be willing? And she agrees to help him out in exchange for the Chaos Emeralds.
Ever the jewel thief, then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Master Emerald, which is being guarded by Knuckles. So we get some delightful dialogue between Knuckles and Shadow. Shadow, I've not seen you since 1907 when you died. What happened? I'm too marketable to die, Knuckles. I need the Master Emerald.
Oh, that plot armor. Ugh.
Just the fucking fourth wall has been broken, and now the fic is slowly
Oh,
disintegrating
it's so...
and collapsing in on itself.
There's a couple of fourth wall breaks, and I don't think it makes this fic any less.
No, it doesn't.
I think it adds to it.
The Echidna stood up, walking forward, cracking his knuckles. No way in hell. Just because you're Hedgehog Jesus doesn't mean you can have the sacred relic of my people.
Yeah, damn right.
You're not quite as marketable as me, Knuckles. If you die, it's permanent.
Not when your
Is
voice
that a
by
threat?
Elsa.
I still don't know who they're going to be able to cast a Shadow to make him more edgy than Idris Elba's Knuckles.
They can't.
So consider this my audition, Sega.
No, you're not edgy enough. You're not nearly edgy
I'll
enough.
gladly voice Shadow. You just heard that. That was great. I could play Shadow.
No. I'd post a picture of your face next to Shadow going, is this really the guy you want? Voicing Shadow. And all
But
of a
then I
sudden
do the
you
Shadow
would go,
voice.
He's not edgy enough, I'm sorry.
What if you post the one of me with the trench coat and the katana?
Even
Oh,
still,
no, that's
that
gotta-
wouldn't just be Sonic fans. That'd be everyone on the internet going, please, not this guy. I don't know who he is.
No, they'll
but
see me with my katana and they'll be like, he's perfect.
No,
That's got a whiff of the neckbeard about it.
isn't
Yeah.
it?
I'll shave most of my beard, so it's just the neck.
Oh, fuck off.
And it's
Yeah,
part of my audition for Shadow.
So I'll tell you what, if you do that, then keep notes, because you might start growing a fedora.
Yeah.
He
I
gets
will.
a bald patch in return for a fedora.
Milady.
Ugh. See, he's perfect. It's awesome. not for being Shadow, just for being a
neckbeard.
Okay, that's enough personal attacks for one day.
Studying the blade.
So there's a fight. I'm not going to read it. I encourage everyone else to go read this themselves. It's a good fight, even if it's only a paragraph long. We cut back to Chris's house with Sonic. They're all... Tails comes in and says, Sonic, put on the TV. You're going to want to see this. Rouge the Bat has committed murder, is on the news. That's the headline. Former gun agent has gone rogue. And Sonic just goes, this is perfect. Does the Death Note work on us? This is exactly the opportunity I've been waiting for.
Shit.
And Tails is trying to talk him down. It's like, Sonic, no, wait. We know her. We can talk to her. He'd already written the name.
Oh, no.
But 40 seconds later, nothing happens. Rouge is not killed by the Death Note.
Ah,
So it doesn't work on hedgehogs.
or bats.
So,
Or bats. Or...
Bats in this case.
Humans only.
Yeah.
Shadow sort of goes, I almost wish you had died. There's minimal evidence gained in your survival.
Well, that's nice of him.
Yeah. And that's where we end this, because it's not finished yet.
Yeah, I want to read more of this.
Yeah. Etceterasundries, please finish this. I'm on
Yeah.
the edge of my seat. That's a big part of why I covered this. I want to read more. It's so good.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see where this finishes up.
I saw the tags and thought, this is going to be silly. And it's not. It's really heavy. And
Well, some of it
It's
is, but
balanced nicely with the silly.
yeah, there's enough silly bits in here that I'm having a laugh and having a, oh no,
having
tense
an
moment.
existential crisis
Yeah.
about
So-
the duality of man or whatever.
So it appears Shadow is sort of taking the role of L in the rest of this. And I'd be very curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, yeah. World's edgiest hedgehog becomes world's best detective. Now there's a headline.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Etceterasundries. If you do update this, maybe we'll cover the rest of it. Or we can do an update on the show, if you like.
Yeah, I think we should.
We'll see. But this weird Sonic Homelander amalgamation that I've been reading has had me hooked. And please keep going. I've skimmed a lot of this as well. There are more details. It's 5 chapters long so far. Hopefully it'll be longer soon. And I encourage everyone to go read it themselves.
Yeah, I do quite like menacing Sonic. Yeah.
I'll leave it there.
Outwardly friendly, but could snap your neck as soon as look at you.
I mean, he could. That's something I enjoyed about watching The Flash. Like, I didn't realize how menacing super speed could be. Because they can just do things, like, before you react. And Sonic is definitely a threat.
Yeah, definitely.
I suppose it would be like if you were paralysed and people were moving around you. You're kind of out of control, aren't you? Because you're just not quick enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Like being under local anaesthetic. They can do stuff to you before you feel it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with Sonic, kids.
Don't fuck with Sonic.
And now he's got a death note as well.
How much more OP do we want to make him?
Exactly.
Yeah. Why not just give him the fucking nuclear codes as well?
He doesn't need them, Nick.
He doesn't
He's
need them.
beyond that now.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he could write, Nick is killed in a nuclear explosion after a missile is launched accidentally.
Exactly, he doesn't need the codes.
Yeah.
I see.
All you
Yeah.
need is to give him an excuse.
Yeah, I hope I never ever give Sonic the Hedgehog
A reason to kill you.
an excuse to kill me.
Well, you better not be a criminal then.
I'll try my hardest not
Fill
to
out
be.
your tax.
Do your taxes. Or Sonic's coming for you with his death note.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself and the inland revenue.
Okay, talking of... God, how do I segue off this?
Talking of tonal shifts.
Talking of staying on my good side. Nick, you've read some fan fiction, right?
I have, yes.
Good. What have you been reading?
Okay, so I've known you guys for several years now, and we've been doing this little thing together.
3 years.
Nigh on 3 years, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're getting on for 3 years. And,
We recorded our first episode in 2019 December, because I edited it over the Christmas holiday.
So we've had 3 years of staring into the abyss together, and I thought it was time for the abyss to stare back. This is called And Sold by ZinkeyZe,
Okay.
and it's an ABO fic.
Oh,
Ah.
I see.
Have we covered an ABO fic on this show yet?
Yes.
I seem to remember, wasn't the Dodo fic from the Animal Crossing
Oh, maybe.
episode?
No. I mean, it sort
I
of
don't
was,
think that
but
aired
it
in the
wasn't
end.
completely. And I think we
It
ended
had
up
ABO
not airing
elements, didn't it?
I think we didn't air that one, yeah. We've
Oh,
talked
yeah,
about
we did.
ABO in Supernatural, for sure, because Supernatural spawned ABO.
But we didn't cover an ABO
I don't
fic
think
in
we
the
did.
Supernatural episode.
I think
No.
this is the first full-on coverage of Alpha, Beta, Omega Dynamics. So, Grace, what is Alpha, Beta, Omega Dynamics?
First of all, why do you do this to me? Secondly, alpha,
Because I can.
beta, omega dynamics is where you have different people in your society who are split into 3 different groups. The alpha being a type who is confident and possesses a dick or some sort of implement that can knot inside someone else. You have a beta who is essentially like the everyday person, who is an everyday person, has no abnormal qualities to their physics. And then you have omegas who are submissive in character generally and go into heat where they can, regardless of gender, conceive.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
So, James,
Yes.
where would you put yourself on that scale?
I like to think of myself as an alpha male.
Probably a beta then.
I see.
I'm a sigma male,
Oh, shut up. He drifts-
as we all
he
know.
drifts cars and listens to funk.
I'm clearly a sigma. I've
Of
got that
course.
poster of John Wick up there,
Oh,
and I don't need no people.
You have a grind set, whatever that is.
I do have a grind set.
Yeah.
It's where I grind.
computer game.
I don't fucking know.
I prefer to think of myself as a Ligma male.
What's that?
Grace. Okay, before you answer, Nick, Grace, did you do that on purpose?
Honestly, loads of variations have been sprouting up recently. that
Okay,
I've been
Grace didn't
told
do that on
about.
purpose. Cool. Nick, what is a ligma male?
Ligma balls.
Oh,
That makes no sense as a joke.
ligma.
I don't care.
Ligma balls.
Over and out from Dictionary Corner. Carry on with your fic.
Have you both had your bofa today?
What's bofa?
Bofa D's nuts.
Oh.
It's not as bad as Updog.
I keep seeing that one on a Hades meme. Being like, not since the great hero Bophades have I seen such treachery. Zagreus, what's Bophades? Bophades nuts!
Oh, fantastic.
Cool.
Okay, so a bit of background about this fic. It is an ABO fic.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of sort of scent play in it. Got mating cycles, in heat. One of the interesting tags is basically the plot of all those cringy One Direction fics
I did
from
just see that.
2013.
Does this mean it's going to be a musical?
No, it
Oh,
isn't.
okay.
Sadly, but I don't think it's any worse off for it.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, please kill me. This fic keeps me up at night and not in a good way. Not beta red. We die like my sanity while writing this.
Oh.
I do love tags like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the notes, it says that this was written for the author's friend as a joke. You can... you can send letters to them while they're at Bible camp. So they wrote this fic and sent it to them as a joke.
I mean, probably greatly appreciated if anything I've heard about Bible camp is true, though it's utterly boring.
Do you think at Bible camp counsellors have to screen the letters to make sure there's nothing too
Spicy.
too alpha beta omega-y in the... That's a shame, because I love the idea of these priests just reading over this. It's like, oh, that's what the kids are up to these days.
I saw a post of someone reading a Castile fic in church, and I thought that was hilarious.
Just imagine if one of the camp counsellors found it and is like, right,
up.
if any kid needs Jesus, it's this fucker right here.
Is there an equivalent like solitary confinement at Bible camp for like extra Jesus-ing?
We have no idea what Bible camp's like, and we're not going to start taking the piss out of a religion. So let's get back to
That's a very good point.
Come on, Nick.
Fair.
Hold on.
Breathe.
Sorry about that. I just had to cough up a lung.
That's okay.
Because, dear listener, the idea of a room that you go to in Bible camp for extra Jesus-ing sounded really, really funny.
Solitary God.
No, not the Jesus room. Anything but the Jesus room. So our fic opens. Sonic's alarm's going off. Sonic is an Omega, by the way.
Oh, good to know.
And he can hear bellowing downstairs. Sonic, get your ass down here, we have guests. That is his mum, who is always drunk. She's apparently either drunk or high, never sober or coherent enough unless she was beating Sonic.
What?
Okay, that's set a tone.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Sonic isn't having a good time at the first start of this fic.
These are two very...
So-
Hang on, Nick. You said earlier this was just a nice one. I thought we said we're going to start with James's fucking moral dilemma fic, and then we're going to get to just this nice one, and then we're just going to go to mine.
I didn't say it was nice
What
per
did
se.
you say?
It starts off horrible.
Oh my god! You know, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Just carry on. I'm so sorry.
You didn't say that for sure.
It starts off horrible for Sonic, but it does get better, depending on what you're into. But anyway, he goes downstairs, walks into the living room. You know, what's all the commotion about? He freezes mid-sentence, and he can feel like, you know, heat sort of building up around his body, because standing in the kitchen was none other than Knuckles, famous alpha and lead singer of the Echidna band.
Why is he in his living room?
You will find
We'll
out.
find out. We've got to stop asking the obvious questions when we do talking through fics, because presumably it's about to be answered.
It's fucking rhetorical. Leave me alone. I need to process things to catch up, and sometimes it means saying it out loud.
Okay, I'm going to start ignoring your questions from here on out then.
That's fine. I won't ignore your questions, Grace, because sometimes you ask relevant ones.
Thank you, Nick. Shut up, James.
This was not one of those times.
Yeah.
Okay, so he goes downstairs to find Knuckles, the alpha Echidna, in his living room, and Knuckles is looking good. You know, he's wearing some like really good fitted black jeans, white shirt, showing off his body keenly while still keeping him covered. And of course,
Which is odd because normally he's naked.
Yeah, normally he is naked, but yeah,
and his gloves.
He will be naked later. Don't worry.
Oh, thank God. Nice and canonical.
Yes. So Sonic's ogling him. And it's broken up by his mum's drunken voice, and it turns out that she's sold Sonic to pay for booze to Knuckles.
What
Oh.
the fuck? Why is Knuckles in this market, man? Alright, sorry, carry on.
I honestly... It's never really explained.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to imagine there's like a Craigslist for selling your Omegas.
Selling your Omegas. Oh,
Yeah.
God. So, yeah.
I don't know.
It's like, what? He's trying to process what his mum was saying. I sold you, kid. Money's tight right now. It was either you or the booze. Obviously, I picked the right option. And he's like...
I think it's this
fucking
bit
hell.
that is the plot of 2013 Fix, by the way.
I think
Because I've heard
yeah.
of One Direction Fix doing this in the past.
What, their mum selling them for
Yeah.
booze money, and they end up in One Direction.
Not necessarily. It's more One Direction ending up in them.
Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, right. Okay, so Knuckles sort of takes him by the shoulder and steers him towards the door, gets into a blacked out SUV. Fucking Sonic's head is still spinning. He's like, how could she have just fucking sold me? But more to the point, why has she sold me to this notoriously hot alpha? What would Knuckles want with me? That sort of thing.
Oh my god. Okay.
And this is where the scent play comes in. Sonic unknowingly starts releasing a distressing scent, as we have all been victims of when we're nervous sometimes.
I don't think to the extent ABO dynamics work, Nick, but alright.
No, I was just thinking of farts. You know.
Oh.
I don't think that's what's happening in this fic, to be honest.
No, I don't think it is. But, you know, releasing a scent when nervous is what happens to some people.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay.
Okay, so, yeah, Sonic's a bit lost. He's like... He is not elated, but wondering where this is going, where he's been bought by Knuckles. He's in this blacked-out SUV. So, of course, he starts crying. Knuckles he wraps his arms around him, saying, "It's okay, I've got you," trying to calm him down and that sort of thing. Again, releasing pheromones to try and calm him down. So, Sonic dries up, and Knuckles has still got his hand on his waist and things like that. And Sonic's so embarrassed. Crying in front of the person you just met is embarrassing. Mentioning again that Knuckles is a famous and hot alpha.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it twice as embarrassing. He was probably annoyed. But it turns out that Knuckles is quite sweet. And, he asks Sonic his name.
Despite buying a child on the black market.
Despite buying a child on the black market so his mum can go and get drunk.
As
But
far as child trafficking goes, he's quite nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
to be
that's
fair.
it. Yeah, he's the monster, but a caring one.
Mm-hmm.
So the SUV's rolled up outside the hotel at this point. Knuckles says, "Well, if you're feeling better, Sonic, we can make our way up to the hotel room." So they're walking through the foyer, and Knuckles takes Sonic's hand and walks through this hotel lobby. Sonic can barely believe what's happening. The most coveted bachelor walking into a hotel with a no-name Amiga tucked into his side. I keep saying Amiga, which is a Vauxhall.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Of course.
Yeah, it's Omega,
Omega.
but anyway.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so got Sonic on his arm. They go up into the elevator, and then they walk into this amazing hotel room, which, befitting of an alpha, is sort of luxurious, fully decked out. It's a penthouse suite. There's big windows looking out across the city. It's absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Knuckles finds out that Sonic is in heat.
Oh no.
He asks, "Are you in heat?" Knuckles asks softly, trying his best not to spook Sonic, who looked ready to run at any possible moment. Yeah, fair enough. And yeah, he was. So, okay, that's okay. We'll just figure this out. "Where's the spare room?" Sonic asked. "There isn't one," Knuckles said, dead serious. "There was only one bed."
Oh no.
Oh.
What's gonna happen?
So Knuckles, ever the gentleman, despite having bought a child, as we can see, he says, "No, it's okay. You take my room. I'll sleep out here." And,
Oh, thank God.
he sort of wanders off to. Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't expect that, to be honest. 10 out of 10, Knuckles.
Yeah,
I'm so glad he's stuck to character.
for a child trafficker, he's pretty nice. But anyway, so he takes Sonic to his bedroom and sort of leaves him to it. And Sonic decides to sort of make the bed and nest in it, which apparently is an ABO thing.
Yep.
Amigas have this innate instinct.
No, sorry to interrupt. You corrected yourself from Omega to Omega.
I know.
You were going to be like, okay, no, Greek letter. No, it's going to be the car nesting in the bed. Of course.
Do you remember what I said at the beginning about staring into the abyss? And the abyss staring back?
So you're just keeping the cars in mind just to keep yourself sane.
Some are inspired, some look away, and some go mad.
Alright, look, just get on with the fic. So yeah, he's having a nest. So he's making a nest out of the bed. And he's going to curl up in it.
Yeah, he's making a nest. That's it, because the scent being given off by the alpha is driving him insane. And he's halfway through building this nest, and Knuckle comes in to find him whimpering in the nest he just made, slicked up and ready, and Knuckles just loses control.
No.
And they pound.
Oh.
I mean, it is consensual, isn't it? Because I'm seeing Sonic say, "Will you fuck me? I need you." Hang on, let me get the Sonic voice
but
back.
he's not in the right state of mind.
When will you fuck me? I need you, Alpha, please.
No, don't ever do that to me again. Right.
You gonna be good for me,
Shut
Knuckles
up,
teases.
Oh,
So good!
Fucking
Gotta
stop.
fill me up!
Fucking stop right now. Stop.
No. I need your cock, Alpha! Need you to fill me up! Oh, wow. That's a line.
my...
No. Stop it.
Yeah. That made my penis retreat into my body. So thanks for that.
Anytime.
It's fine, it's just James. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
I need you to fill me up with pups, please!
Fucking stop. You're making a version
That's
of
not going
Uru,
in.
and I hate you. I will quit this fic if you do that again.
I'm not going to
That's
risk
fair.
it. No.
That's fair. That was... I honestly found myself questioning my life choices when you were doing that.
I'm so glad you said life choices.
Okay. So, yeah, they pound. And
It is consensual, for the most part.
Yeah, dubious.
Well, I would say that it's a bit of both because, of course, the pheromones are making them act.
I would say it's been put... Yeah,
of
exactly. So
instinct.
it's like being drunk and consenting, isn't it? It's not quite. Not quite.
So, yeah, but for the purposes of this fic, I would say they would, because that's how the ABO universe works.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, it's very well written smut. So, yeah, Sonic's got a fucked out face, whatever that means. If anybody can make that face and send it to us, then please
No,
do.
don't ask for that.
If you have a fucked out face, write in to the fanshippingforecast@gmail.com.
And yeah, it turns out that Knuckles has got a big old knot, as
bet he does.
traditional. Yeah, it's traditional with ABO fics, and they come and then they cuddle, which and that's the end of the fic.
Kind of.
Kind of, because
Sonic goes, "Round 2?" Sonic asks,
Don't!
wiggling.
Oh,
James!
I'm done, I swear.
we do not stray from God. He flees before us. Oh man.
But he can't catch up with the blue streak.
So yeah, I thoroughly recommend, if you are even remotely into the ABO verse, that you go and read this. It was quite a short but quite sweet is maybe the wrong word. Smutty introduction to this particular fandom and particular universe, and I'm glad I took the plunge.
Oh,
Because,
I'm glad you've read this before you've seen Sonic 2.
yes.
Yeah, it may have put a new spin on how I perceive the Sonic universe in the
You're going to
future.
watch the movie and you're going to be looking for any hint of sexual tension between Knuckles and Sonic.
And
Yeah,
you're not going to be disappointed, because Knuckles is voiced by Idris Elba, who can create sexual tension out of thin air
He can.
with his handsome, handsome voice.
yeah. So
He's so dreamy.
there we go.
Yeah.
I guess the ABO verse isn't so far from the real Sonic universe after all.
Exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a good introduction to the ABO verse. I think. I think it's been 3 years. I think we had to take the plunge, and I'm glad we did it with this fic.
Introduction implies you intend on returning.
Well, this podcast takes me to some strange places.
Don't use us as an excuse.
Yeah. It's so dishonest.
I see what you're doing here.
I'm implying you enjoyed this enough to go back.
I see what you're doing here, and this won't replace Grace's Fishmen kinks.
I wasn't trying to replace Grace's Fishman
You
Kings.
can't replace my fish
I
man
forbid
kink.
it.
Exactly. Thank you for admitting it's real, Grace.
It's not real, but for the purposes of comedy, I'm gonna have to lean into it because it's not being shaken anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
But if they kill off Prince Sidon in Tears of the Kingdom, I'm gonna riot.
So yeah, there we go. That was an introduction.
Imagine reading this at Bible camp.
I know. There is some notes which also made me laugh.
Yeah.
If you made it through that, then congrats to you. I won't even read through it. Just thinking about this fic makes me wake up at night in a cold sweat.
Oh dear.
But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed and at least had a laugh. I know I had an existential crisis writing it. I had an existential crisis reading it, to be fair. But in the best way
ZinkeyZe,
possible.
I'm terribly sorry if we brought back traumatic memories by covering this.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was...
We don't have a therapy budget, but if you need someone to talk to, we're here.
Right into the shipping podcast.
If you were traumatized by our coverage of AO3 ABO dynamics, write in to the fanshippingforecast@gmail.com.
But yeah, I enjoyed this. It was quite interesting as a sort of scientific experiment. I kind of expected the Sonic verse to be full of fics like this, and of course it is, but we sort of found mostly wholesome ones going through.
I don't even think this is the horniest fandom we've covered.
Yeah, I know.
I couldn't point to what it is. It's probably Zelda, but...
That's it. The reputation of the Sonic fandom is...
undeserved.
We found it to be mostly false. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you're all quite wholesome people. Even the people who write ABO.
Especially the people who write ABO.
I feel like I'm hearing this Good Samaritan story. Even the Samaritan. Like, I was like, they're not bad.
Even the ABO writers were wholesome.
Oh.
You're just
A little bit.
judgmental.
So, Grace, take us home. What have you been reading?
Country roads, take us home to the place I belong.
This. Oh, hang on. I've just opened up my script in the wrong thing, and it's asking me why I'm not buying Microsoft Word, but in German. So I was just looking out of that.
Okay, what baffles me more about that is I know for a fact, Grace, you have a legitimate version of Microsoft, of Windows.
I don't.
You didn't pirate anything, so why is it in German?
No, it's Microsoft Word. I don't own Microsoft Word. I'm using LibreOffice. And I accidentally opened it in Microsoft Word, and it was just like, but you don't pay for this. And I was like, but it was asking me that in German.
But you don't even pay for this.
It was like, pay for this, and pay for das. And I was just like, no, go away. And then it wasn't letting me leave.
But why is it in German?
Oh my god. I don't know why it's in German. It could have been Dutch, could have been Belgian, I don't know. It was just...
Why is it not in English, Grace?
I don't know!
Everything you touch with technology.
I know.
It just breaks.
Look, I don't make the rules, I just live in this universe, okay?
But you...
No,
Oh,
you break the rules. You break them.
you break them in ways no one ever has.
Some call it
And
a
I
curse,
don't-
others call it a talent.
I call it a curse.
It is a curse. You've just got this magnetic field that fucks up computers.
Right.
I can't wait for you guys to see what I can do to cars.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to make Grace look like a technology savant.
You'll be fine. Just follow my instructions.
That's a curse.
I say that to Grace every time, and you know what happens?
What you've got to do, right, is when you buy your car, you put it on your driveway.
And you get the train everywhere.
I probably will. Except when I need to go to the shops every week or so.
Yeah.
So, James, don't ask me what I've learnt at the end of this podcast like you usually do.
Why?
Because I'm going to tell you what I've learnt before I read this fic, alright?
Oh.
So,
Ooh.
I
Okay.
decided to do a little bit of research into the actual animals that are featuring in this fic, being a hedgehog and an echidna.
Ooh.
So hedgehogs, when they're little, they're called hoglets, right? And
Oh.
Okay.
what's weird about Sonic is that they're often preyed upon by owls. So why he was raised by an owl, or adopted by an owl, which makes me a bit sus of Longclaw, you know, his parents
That is
being
kind of odd
absent,
when you
but,
think about
know,
it.
Sonic 3 better have mad gossip, mate, is all I'm saying. I want the dirt on fucking Lonclaw, how she got custody.
Okay.
But yeah, the info on the hedgehog's quite tame, but my god, I was in for a shock when I read up on echidnas. Echidnas are mammals that lay eggs. The eggs are about 1.4 centimetres long. Young are called puglets, which I think is very sweet. Right, hold on to your asses. Male echidnas have 4-headed penis. The heads
What?
on one side shut down and do not grow in size. The others are used to release semen into the female's 2 branched reproductive tracts. Each time it copulates, it alternates heads in sets of 2. Thank you, Wikipedia. When not in use, the penis
Alternates heads.
Yeah, it and then it like withdraws the other 2 into a sac in the cloaca, and the male penis is 7 centimeters long, so it's bigger than the eggs. So like the kids are like dwarfed by their dad's dick early on, which is mad if you sort of compared it to humans, isn't it? So yeah.
Wow.
And the shaft is covered with spines, penal spines.
Ooh.
And prior to 2007, no one had ever seen an echidna ejaculate. There have been previous attempts trying to force the echidna to ejaculate through the use of electrically stimulated ejaculation.
What? I need to take notes. I've got so many fucking questions.
This fucking echidna, and to make its dick swell, and then it just didn't come. So clearly, either the voltage just wasn't good, or he just wasn't into it. I don't know.
There are people out there
Look,
who have made it a career option for wanking off echidnas.
Mate,
so okay, neither of you have been to university, so I'd just like to briefly take us on a tangent.
Look, we know
on something
students have too much free time, and this.
No,
this
it's
just,
not that.
It highlights
No,
it.
Gray, hear me out. It's research funding that I'm concerned with. Because before you do a study, you have to take it to an ethics board and present what you plan to do and how much you think it's going to cost and why you think it's worthwhile. Someone had to make a I want to electrocute an echidna's dick to see what happens when it comes. Someone has a PowerPoint labelled, I want to electrocute an echidna's dick to see what happens when it comes. And they had to deliver that presentation.
So the reason...
And someone approved it and said, yes, good idea. Yeah. Here's an echidna.
So echidnas do not reproduce when they're in captivity, which is why they'd want them to ejaculate so they can impregnate the females.
That makes a lot more sense.
But in the wild, breeding season begins in June to September, and males will line up to a literal fucking line to a female in an attempt to mate. You know, the eldest being at the front, the youngest little narc being at the back. So like, you're looking ahead and you got your dad, you got Uncle Albert, you got fucking Gary from across the road, and that twat who picks on you at school, used to pick at you on school, all ahead of you in this line for the girl you fancy. And it's just like, but you can switch lines, but on the other hand, you don't want to look sideways because your sister and your mum are in the beginning of another line. So it's like, horrendous. And if it was in the UK, they'd probably queue. But either way, right. And it's known...
It's tough to be an echidna.
It's known as the train system. You're welcome, Nick. It was all to do with getting you to hear about trains.
It's literally running a train on somebody.
Yes.
Wow.
But why do their dicks have 4 heads when there's only 2 bits on the woman?
Because they'll use 2 for one lady of their choice, and then they'll see another lady of their choice, and once they've gone through the queue, they'll give her a different one instead of double dipping.
Okay,
there's a lot to unpack.
Can we get...
And there's a lot of
so much to unpack.
Somebody get Bad Dragon on the phone. There has to be a market for this.
I'm imagining it kind of like a Gatling gun where it rotates, but you just fire like another one afterwards.
Either way, this probably won't show up in the fic I'm featuring, but I'm surprised I haven't seen it mentioned in other fics, like in the other episode we were doing, where we were just going through them. I'm surprised, like, 4 Dick Knuckles just didn't make an appearance, you know what I mean?
Okay, Sonic authors who are listening, please... Come on, you've got to start the 4 Dick Knuckles fandom.
He's not even laying eggs as far as I've seen, which is like
Make it
more common knowledge.
could be the next ABO.
Well, you're welcome, authors. You're welcome. Like,
Four Dick Knuckles.
There was something else I was going to say, but I've lost my train of thought because it's all... Yeah, okay. Nick, you'll probably back me up on this.
Okay.
It's pretty hard to pee with a urinal. Like, when you stood up, you got to aim. It's pretty hard as a human with a one-headed penis.
Oh my god, it'd be like a garden sprinkler.
Yeah, it would.
Oh. One of them fucking water spouts at a water park. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus wept. It's piss
So
everywhere.
my second fic request is Knuckles at the urinal. Just like, oh, this is difficult. And I'm wearing boxing gloves as well. It's even harder to...
Knuckles, why have you got piss all down your front?
It's difficult, man.
it'd be more like, I reckon someone else would come and like, why are you standing so close, bro? And it's like, it's my only choice.
Aiming's hard.
So, yeah, this is made to be broken by Murdsmouse, and it is between Knuckles the Echidna and Sonic the Hedgehog. And it's Fluff coming of age, they meet as kids, isn't that nice? Angst with a happy ending. They aren't supposed to be together, Romeo and Juliet kind of stuff, forbidden love, ignorant of canon, pining, and slow burn. I am a bit of a sucker for a slow burn fanfic, I'm not gonna lie. And you know what? I thought about this when I was watching the movie, when they lived together on that island, but they sort of lived apart because the Echidnas were sort of in that war against the owls, weren't they? Over the Chaos Emerald.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think I would have liked an alternate of that story where they had actually known each other while all this shit was going on. Would have made things more interesting when they meet later on as enemies, you know what I mean? So a fanfic that sort of caters to that but makes them friends at the beginning, so it's quite nice.
Okay.
So I think it's now on 5 chapters and it's still going, so that's quite nice. So I'm invested. Okay. Sonic meets a fiery young Echidna by sheer chance and they become inseparable, but the feuds of the Echidna tribe and Longclaw mean their friendship must be hidden. But containing friendship is one thing, containing love is another. It starts with saying that even though Sonic's got super speed, he's not that popular. And so he's actually quite...
Sonic's not having a good time in this one
No,
either.
he's not having a bad time, he's just sort of lonely. Other kids don't really want to play with him because he's too good at all the sports and all the games and stuff. And the sort of...
That would make him really annoying at school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's fine just sort of running off at his own. He's all like, yeah, that's alright, I can have fun on my own. Yeah, I can. Sure. But, you know, he's rocketing through the place, so there's only so many loop-de-loops he can loop. And he's getting bored.
Oh.
So, out of boredom, he decides to stand on the edge of the Echidna territory.
That's a bad idea.
A really dangerous choice, considering the Echidnas are always trying to capture him and take him and try and, he believes, steal his power.
Okay.
So I'm imagining they just want him to run on a treadmill all day to as like a renewable energy source. Like, come on, kid, keep at it.
So I don't actually know yet. It hasn't been explained exactly why they want him, but I think it's to do with they want control of the Chaos Emerald, and they think that Longclaw and Sonic have knowledge that they can obtain in order to achieve their goal. So, yeah.
I suspect they're right.
So he doesn't bolt into the territory because he doesn't want to attract too much attention, so he just goes further in and it's all quiet. You know, he's shitting himself slightly, you know, because like, but he's sort of like in his head he's like, I'm the fastest there is, no one's going to be able to catch me, it should be fine. Tree snaps, he's like, oh fuck, what's that? He's like, oh, there's nothing, he can't see anything, and he's like, alright. And then something else snaps, and he's like, oh, no, nothing. And then he turns around and goes slam first into an Echidna, and he's knocked on his back. He can't get up on his feet to run away before a net is thrown on him and he's pinned down.
Oh, they've noticed he's in the territory then.
So yeah, that's right, lads. He's been got by an Echidna.
Oh dear.
But this Echidna was not what Sonic expected. He was small in stature, similarly sized to the Sonic, perhaps a bit bigger. This Echidna was a kid too. Yep, enter Knuckles.
Hey, good.
You know, when reading this, despite Knuckles being a kid in this so far, I can only hear him in my head still being voiced by Idris Elba, and it's really jarring.
Of course.
Of course.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Either way, the author gives a very good description of what Knuckles looks like to Sonic, and at this point I was invested. I was like, okay, like, is he going to let him go, or I wanted to know where it was going. So Knuckles looks pretty pleased with himself until he hears Sonic sobbing in the net, and so he's like, oh no. So it's quite sweet. He turns around, kneels down to Sonic. He's like, oh, there's no need for tears. I'm not going to hurt you. And he's like, oh, don't kill me or take my power. I promise. I'm never going to heal your forest again. Let me go. And he's like, I've already said that I'm not going to hurt you. And he's like, oh, why did you trap me? And he's like, oh. Either way, Sonic is proper balling. Knuckles reaches out and some spikes get stuck in his hand. And Knuckles is just like, oh, okay, I'm going to let him go. I think he sort of like felt really guilty, so he's just like, oh. He's a softie really, isn't he? Bless him.
Soft at heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Echidna looked at the several blue quills protruding from his glove for a moment before letting out a regretful sigh. I am sorry, he spoke quietly. I will set you free. And he lets him out the net. But Sonic doesn't run off. He turns around and sees he's still got the quill stuck in his hand, and he's like, do you want me to help you now? And he sort of like wrinkles his snout and goes, do you think I'm incapable of aiding myself? Very on brand, very Knuckles. He's like, no, but it hurts less if someone else pulls him out. And so yeah, he just sort of lets him take that out. Oh, didn't that hurt? And he goes, I'm a Echidna warrior, I can handle your puny smiles. And he's like 8. Like, he's a kid. He's very like, I am the son of like the leader of the tribe. I'm carrying this burden on my shoulders, but I'm also very small. but he's putting full effort into it,
Oh, excellent.
Very sweet.
That's quite sweet.
Either way, there's more dialogue between the two where Sonic asks to be friends with Knuckles, and Knuckles is a bit hesitant because obviously his dad's trying to capture him, but he doesn't really want to capture Sonic because he's nice, and so he agrees to be his friend, and so it's Sonic's first friend, which is very sweet. The moment gets broken and Knuckles sort of hears his dad approaching. Oh yeah, that's another fun Echidna fact. They have the same thing as sharks, so they can pick up like electrous. Oh, what is it? I've forgotten the name of it, but how everything's got an electrical current in them.
Oh, they can pick up on that through the air.
Oh, that's
wow.
cool.
Yeah, Echidnas are OP, mate.
Yeah, they are.
Explains a lot, to be honest.
Either way, he tells Sonic to run home, and Sonic is like, "Will I ever see you again?" And he goes like, "Yeah, sure. When it's safe, they'll just happen to meet up." And in a couple of months' time, they do, and they go fishing, and it's all really cute, and they just hang out.
You get a montage of joy.
Yeah, and that's just chapter 1. That's how they meet, and later on. Yeah, but there's some really good dialogue in it, and it's quite fun, and everything's like you can tell they're kind of in character as well. Like, I'm very impressed with Knuckles being, like, very Knuckles. Sonic's quite Sonic as well, so I'm quite pleased with that. But I like how there's this underlining threat that could tear them apart, and all this drama ensues. I'm looking to see how it's resolved later on. And if it ties into the films at all, like, I want to see if they do sort of fulfill my idea of how the movie should have been, where they actually knew each other from before. But yeah, well done, Murdsmouse. Looking forward to more, and I encourage others to have a read of this.
It was good fun.
Okay. Is that it, Grace? I thought you were going to read more.
Oh, I thought because everyone else... Well, I was.
It's up to you.
Alright, well, also I don't want to, like, spoil too much, because I did actually get invested into it, and I do actually want people to read it, because I did actually quite like it. I'm not saying I now ship them, but I ship them, there we go, I ship Hedgehogs and Echidnas together.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Bury me
Grace,
in
I can't help but notice you've brought a full-on romance fic, which...
I know.
Yeah.
It's a bit unlike you.
I know, I don't know what happened.
You got suckered in by the fluff.
I did. I saw a slow burn.
You've moved on to Echidnas now.
Yeah, fish is it. It's Echidnas all the way now.
Friendship ended with Fishman. Now, Echidnas. My new crush.
Nah.
But only if they're sweet.
Yeah, only
and voiced by Idris Elba.
Maybe it's the Idris Elba just confusing me. I'm not interested in Echidnas. I'm just interested in Idris Elba voicing everything.
Well, we have seen him in a lot of films lately.
He's in everything, isn't he? I've had a good year for Idris Elba.
He sure gets around.
Yeah, he does.
Oh dear.
This does sound a good fic, though. It just surprised me that you picked something.
I know, it's not
Sweet
like me
and
to
wholesome.
pick something very fluffy, is it?
It does go against the grain of your reputation.
I know.
Yeah, usually I sort of bring the romance ones because I get suckered in by the feels.
Yeah. I don't think I broke stereotype today. I think ethical dilemmas is probably my second favourite genre of fic.
What's your first favourite?
Actually, that's a good question. No, I'll take it back. I think my main genre is just weird ideas taken very seriously and written in like a strong way.
Yeah, that's more on brand for you, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I just like crack. I'm just a crack addict. So
one day that's gonna haunt you.
I hope not.
Someone's gonna play you saying that in a courtroom and ask you to clarify, and you're gonna be torn because clarifying might be worse. Because then you'll have to explain to the judge what Alpha, Beta, Omega is.
Yeah, I'd have to explain what we do here on this podcast.
Yeah, that could be bad.
Yeah, and then me and James are going to be pulled in the court. Not because we've done anything wrong, but because the jury just wants to look at us.
Character witnesses. Yeah, you will be character witnesses.
I don't think I can be trusted for that.
Oh, thanks. Just take the step now, he's a cunt, send him down. I thought you were the plaintiff's friend, Mr. No, just fucking send him down.
Please don't dox me.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were the plaintiff's friend, Mr. Shipping James. No, whatever gave you that idea? I just fucking used him to be funny on my podcast. Send him down.
I can replace.
It'll be even
you
funnier
any
if we
day.
record from prison.
Yes.
Season 4, we're committed to doing a whole year of prison-related fics. So we're doing Orange is the New Black, we're doing JoJo Part 6. And because Nick is a method actor, he's going to be doing it. He's going to be recording from Hull Prison.
Hang on, just gotta mute the mic. Someone's trying to shiv me.
Yeah, I've just got to go win a prison fight. Just bear with us.
Sorry, we got distracted there. Yeah, this fic is promising from what you've shown me, Grace.
Thank you, it is. And I think you should read
I will
it.
carry this on in my own time. I am haunted by your Echidna facts.
I wondered you both sounded so jaded. I probably should have left them last because it just made you sort of sound like glazed over every time I said something. You were just like,
that is in no way the
really
fic.
from
That
the facts.
So
yeah, 4 dicks.
So okay, I'll try and explain it as best I can, right? You know how some fics, it's like running into a brick wall?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the facts before the fic was like the brick wall chasing you. It was just totally unexpected and out of left field. It's like, this isn't how it's supposed to work.
It's like you started this episode by hitting us with a baseball bat.
Yeah,
and then
it is.
You hit us with a baseball bat, then you read us Romeo and Juliet. And then
you
made us wonder. And then you asked, why are you guys so dazed about this? Well, it might be the baseball bat you led with.
That's it. When you start your sort of turn with just uppercutting us with strange facts about penises, then yeah.
But aren't you glad I did? So, my turn to ask, what have you learnt in this episode?
Oh, you motherfucker.
That Nick hasn't seen Death Note after all.
Yeah, I haven't seen Death Note.
That I can traumatize Grace by doing an impression of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Saying very specific things.
Saying very specific things, usually very sexual things. Echidnas have 4 dicks that rotate like a Gatling gun, just busting nut after nut into the female echidna. They also run a train on the female echidnas. Wow. We have not...
I think this episode has been overshadowed somewhat.
I think David Attenborough hates us.
If it's only... I think echidnas live in New Zealand? No, New Guinea and Australia. And they're related to platypuses. And they're very good swimmers.
That would explain the egg laying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's only them and platypus that lay eggs.
Yeah.
And they're mammals.
Only mammals that do.
Oh, they've got a pouch as well, so the the really tiny egg is laid, it hatches, and they get out with a little tooth, and then they put the jelly baby-sized echidna into the pouch, and it'll just like drink from milk patches in there until it's big enough. And it hasn't got spines then, it's sort of soft, and so like the mum will dig a hole and they'll just put the echidna in there to live and feed it until it's about a year old or something.
Okay.
So yeah, I learnt a lot doing my research on Sonic the Hedgehog.
Did.
And so did we.
You're so welcome.
Yeah. I do appreciate that when you decide to do some work, Grace, you go all out. And you bring to the table something we wouldn't have even considered before.
Quoting Wikipedia.
Yeah, and now we know that echidnas have 4 dicks.
Yeah, Grace, I find you have 2 speeds when it comes to doing the homework for this show. It is either immediately, like, sometimes while we're recording. Or
like I did today.
What? Or you go full Hermione Granger on us.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like, there is no middle ground between those two.
Well, I mean, if it's an animal, it's quite easy, because I go, you know what's got material? Animals. Animals have always got something to talk about, because animals are cool as fuck, right? And it just so happened that echidnas were ridiculously packed in the fucking dick department. And I was like, oh, you know what? The boys are going to love this.
The boys were traumatized by it.
I'm sorry you feel emasculated from an echidna, from Knuckles. You wish you could do what Knuckles could do.
Remind me to add Zootopia to our list of stuff to cover for next year.
No.
Oh, God, that's going to be another cursed one, isn't it?
It is when I'm through with it.
Yeah. Sorry, Nick, you were going to say something before I cut you off.
I still think that we need to get our pencils and paper out and design something that we can send to Bad Dragon.
And a kid, you know what? Right. Let's end this.
The echidna.
Let's end this episode and the season with me going to Bad Dragon and checking if they have made an echidna.
I think if anybody needs to sponsor us.
Oh, absolutely. Well. Bad Dragon, please sponsor us. Grace, okay. The tables have turned. How do you spell echidna?
I'm glad you asked, because I can actually
I know
spell
you have
this.
it open.
I can
for sure.
spell this because I've written it down.
Okay. I hope she had.
ECHID.
H. Yeah, it was that first bit I was struggling with. If I Google Bad Dragon Echidna, there is a Reddit thread saying Bad Dragon should make an echidna dick.
Oh, it's not even our idea, for fuck's sake.
They could use the description for those who like to go knuckle deep. Okay, I'm on the Bad Dragon website now. Let's have a look. To clarify, we're not sponsored. Please don't buy anything from them unless they pay us.
No,
we're holding our audience
hostage.
hostage. And also write to Bad Dragon saying, we refuse to buy anything from you till you sponsor the shipping forecast. I'm skimming through. There's a lot of shapes here.
Are any echidna like?
None are echidna shaped.
I suppose we're just going to have to get some...
There are wearables.
What?
As in, you put them on you if you want a different shape.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Do vibrators now as well.
Have any of them got a recorded push button of quotes from Idris Elba?
A string you can pull with customizable dialogue.
Oh dear.
You could just put any sort of audio clip on there. You pull the string and it speaks.
I must protect the
fun.
Chaos Emerald.
See, I would have gone with Gordon's alive on my dragon dildo.
But not your echidna one, because that wouldn't make sense.
There isn't an echidna one, I'm afraid to say.
Well,
I'm looking through.
Bad Dragon, you know what you need to do. There is a public outcry and demand.
if
From
you build
Grace,
it,
to be clear.
No, you
If
just said
you
there was
build
a
it,
thread.
they
You
will
just
come.
Said there was
There is a
thread,
Reddit
and
thread,
it's not
yeah.
me on the
Yeah,
thread,
you're right.
but it will be.
Okay. There are
Yep.
12 upvotes now. Up 13th is probably coming. From Grace.
Just remember, Bad Dragon, if you build it, they will come.
They
Quite
sure
literally.
do.
Yes. Oh, well.
Okay. I think we've had enough for one day.
It was time for Thomas to leave. He had seen everything.
It was time for the shipping forecast to leave, for we had seen enough. But we've not seen everything, because the Sonic fan base is massive, and maybe we'll be back when the third film comes out and we know who they've cast as Shadow. I'm hoping for Benedict Cumberbatch.
Hang on. Are you not? Do you not find it surprising that the 4-dick thing just hasn't shown up in our travels?
Yes.
I do. We should spread the word.
Yes, I would have thought that this would have been pure fandom
I thought this would be
bait.
hot shit,
you know.
but like no. Apparently.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry that I keep bringing things back to Star Trek, but the recent series told everyone that the Klingons have 2 dicks, and that has been everywhere since then. So
Maybe this is what starts it. Maybe we're the catalyst.
Nah.
I don't think we're big enough to be a catalyst. I will try and get the word out though that everyone Echidnas have 4.
Just retweet like fuck anything that you have with Echidna biology. Just like to all the Sonic authors, all I don't know, fucking 2 of them that follow us, just like retweet or whatever Tumblr's
Yeah.
equivalent is, because you know we all know
Reblog.
what's going on with Twitter. Yeah, this is relevant to your interests. Maybe you should do something with this fact,
Yeah, that's a good
because
idea.
we're not creative enough.
We sure aren't. But if you'd like to hear us try and be creative and funny on our own, please listen to our other show, Fanfics and Chil, which goes up every Friday, and you will find a link in our show notes for.
Which we are not creative at all because all credit goes to the authors.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, we at least try to add some humor in there, right?
Come on, we read it out in silly voices.
Yeah.
They do all the hard work.
It's the best we can do. They do the hard work of making those. On that note, if you have any fics you'd like to submit for Fanfics and Chil, write in. We've said the email address plenty of times, but once again, it's thefanshippingforecast@gmail.com. I hope you enjoyed hearing us talk about Sonic.
And for more animal facts, join us again next time.
Yes.
For more animal facts, well, probably not next time, because I don't know if we're covering anything animalistic next time. We'll see. We've got something planned for Christmas, but after that, we're done. We're going to take a break through January, and we'll be back in February.
Yeah, it's our traditional January hiatus because even when we enjoy so much what we do, we still need a little break from time to time.
It is time for us to stop and to plan and do all those things.
Rest, recuperate, get through January, and then when February rears its ugly head with the cold and the frost and the dark nights and the dark mornings, we will be back to brighten your winter.
Hopefully.
Oh, we're not doing this anymore.
Fuck
it, fine, I'm off. Right, yeah.
No, I mean,
brilliant, I'm free.
We'll definitely be back. I'm hoping we brighten your winter.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
We will. I like to think we're quite happy people.
We tend to be.
At least on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you enjoyed it, do all the usual things. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Come back, listen to us again. We're always here, except for in January, as I just mentioned. Christmas, we've got something fun planned. It's going to be different, though, so this is the last, proper episodes that we're doing.
Yep.
And, God, is there anything else we need to say?
May your Christmas be merry and bright.
What are we actually doing?
It's a surprise.
That's not going to want...
I've told you before, Grace.
That's not going to want people want to come back.
Okay, sure. So next time we are doing small fandoms that we wouldn't normally give a full episode for because they're quite small.
So effectively, what we're saying is we're doing whatever the fuck we want.
We're reading any fics we want.
Yes.
As long as it's from a fandom with less than 1,000 words. 1,000 fics.
Okay. So we're doing like a sweet assortment.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Christmas candy box.
It's the selection box episode.
Yeah, that's better.
That's exactly
Yeah.
it. I've got a list of small fandoms we're interested in talking about, and we're going to talk about them.
Yep.
So, hopefully, we'll see you then. Good night. I just realised, at the start of the episode, I didn't introduce ourselves. So, I've been James, that's been Grace,
Hello.
and that's been Nick.
Hi. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, goodbye.
And goodbye.
Hi.
What the fuck did we do for the intro? It's been so long.
We just jumped into
I
yours.
don't
You were
know.
just so eager to talk about the duality of man that you just got carried away.
I think we did a bit of an intro. I just didn't say hello, welcome to the shipping forecast.
To be fair, you're always eager to talk about the duality of man.
I am. There's been a few fics that have been the duality of man, come to think of it.
Yes.
Like when I did that Spider-Man one, with two similar names, but one was a lot smarter than the other.
Yeah.
And the
Cool.
and the Valley one, the colour purple.
Valley one? Oh yeah, Colour Out of Space.
That's
Yeah, that
it.
was good.
Yeah, that was good.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had some good times here. God, we're making it sound like it's the end of the show outright. It's not.
I thought we'd stop recording.
Oh yeah, we should start recording. Good night, everyone.
Right.
Good night, finally.